Hello everyone, my name is Dina and I am from DishitGirl.com, and I am super excited to be here with the Quarantine Collective and welcome to my kitchen. I'm excited to invite everybody in and teach you a comforting and yummy dish using some pantry staples. A lot of you may have chickpeas in your cabinets. Maybe you stocked up on like 10 to 20 cans of these babies, wondering what can I do with it besides hummus. And I love to make chickpea fritters, but I like to do them kind of with an Italian spin. They're a great source of protein. Sienna loves them, so they're definitely kid approved. And what I'm going to do here is, you see I already drained and rinsed my chickpeas and they're chilling right here. I'm going to be using a good amount of garlic. I'm going to take about 3 cloves and I'm going to give them a rough chop because this is all going to go into the food processor together. And the way I like to think of these chickpea fritters is they kind of remind me of garlic knots. And who doesn't love garlic knots? I don't know if we could be friends if you don't like them, but they are comforting and they are garlicky, a little bit salty. I wish I had a bunch of fresh parsley, but I don't, as you may not. So I'm going to work with what I have on hand. I do have some dried parsley that I'm going to add to this. And I also have a little bit of fresh basil hanging out behind me. So if you have a fresh herb that you want to add to this, I would say go for it. So I'm going to take a couple pieces of my basil here. I'm going to give that a nice rough chop as well. It smells so good. It reminds me of summer days, better days, days hanging outside on the deck, that kind of thing. So we're going to give that a nice little rough chop into here as well. I'm also going to show you the spicy marinara sauce that I like to pair with this. And if you're a Jersey Italian, you call it marinara. But for all the rest of us out there, spicy marinara. Okay, I'm also going to add some salt, kosher salt, to my chickpeas. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. I'm also going to add in the dried parsley because I don't have any fresh. And if I had fresh, I'd be chopping up like almost 1/3 cup of the parsley. But I'm gonna have to rely on a good amount of my dry. Got a good amount in there. I also like to use some capers if you have capers on hand. If not, totally fine. But capers give this just a little bit extra salty, briny bite within the chickpea fritters. It's really nice. If you're not afraid of anchovies, I would say put an anchovy in here, or anchovy oil would also be awesome. I'm also going to add some grated Parmesan cheese, 2 handfuls there. And also some turmeric. Okay, I grated that up just on a microplane, did a little zest. If you don't have turmeric, again, not a big deal. I'm just using it just because right now we're looking for anything that can give us an immune system boost. I'm getting like 2 teaspoons in here. Nice. And then this is going to go into my food processor. I'll dump that all right in here. And you don't want this to be really, really smooth like hummus. You're looking for kind of a chunkier texture. Okay. And then I'm going to add in just a tiny bit of olive oil as I start to pulse this. Let me give it a quick. There we go. All right. Take a little left, want it a little bit more ground together. You might also want to take a spatula and these nice little rubber things and scrape the side of the bowl as you're pulsing this, just to make sure everything gets ground up and mixed together. And be careful you don't get it stuck on your blade like I just did. All right, here we go again. I mean, these are also good flavors if you are going to make the hummus. In that case, you need some tahini. All right, here we go. See, this is more of like a mealy consistency right here. And I'm just gonna put this back into the bowl that I was using before because I need to add 1 egg that's beaten. All right. Okay, so here I have 1 egg beaten. And I'm also going to be adding some lemon. I feel like a burst of lemon just brightens anything up. And then I'm also going to add 3 tablespoons of flour. And you can also use a whole wheat flour if you'd like. That works well too, I've done that before. All right. And then just gonna give my lemon and my egg a little bit of a mix there. Pour it in. All right, and then gently toss, because the first time I did this, I didn't gently toss it, and I ended up with it all over the place. I'm also going to form this into little balls or patties. All right, I'm gonna head over to my frying pan. Okay, next up, I'm gonna have 2 different burners going. Each of my pan has olive oil in it, and so does my pot here. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just going to wilt my spinach into this olive oil. Gotta lower my heat a little bit. Do it over a low heat. It looks like a lot, but it's gonna wilt down to like nothing. So there's like, I don't know, 3 handfuls or so in here. All right, very nice. And then I'm heating up my olive oil here over like a medium-high heat because that's what I'm gonna use to fry my chickpea fritters. And so also in an effort not to dirty too much stuff because then I gotta clean it all up, I'm gonna take my wilted spinach out of here and reserve it in a plate, and then I'm gonna use that to make my sauce. So I'm going to, good, now I have a little bit of water on my hands, which is going to help me roll these chickpea fritters. All right, so I like to make them into little discs. All right, so we got 1 down here. So 1 can of chickpeas is gonna make me, I think about like 6 to 8 discs. We'll see, it depends on how big I make them. So my spinach is pretty wilted there. So I'm gonna take it out of the pan. Just let it hang here in this bowl. See how like that's like 3 handfuls of spinach, and this is all I'm getting. So don't be afraid to use a bunch of spinach if you have like 2 to 4 people. Give my fritters a little check. I think they could still use another minute. Now for the sauce here, what I like to do is use pureed tomatoes. And even if you have some marinara or marinara already made, you can use that too. So in here, I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil, like half a tablespoon. And this pan is already warm, which is great. I'm gonna use a little bit of chopped onion. You could use a white onion. This happens to be a Spanish onion, or it has that like yellow color to it. So I'm gonna get, everything in my kitchen is like, I'm gonna guess that I have like a tablespoon and a half. You could put more. Again, with my wooden spoon. Just gonna let that cook for a minute, get a little bit translucent. I'm also gonna add in a little bit of chopped garlic. I'm just gonna do a clove here. And then I'm gonna let my crushed red pepper hang out with this. Now, you can make this as spicy or not as spicy as you want, depending upon your taste. I happen to like things spicy, like I can handle the heat. And that is why I will take any peppers I have, like I have banana ring peppers here. If you have like hot cherry peppers, oh, those are awesome. Those are my jam. You can take the oil or the brining liquid that's in here, and if you're brave, just pour a little bit into here and let that hang out. Again, this is gonna lace your spicy marinara sauce here. And then once that's simmering away, we're gonna add in our tomato. So I think these should be ready to turn. Yep, I've got a nice golden color on here. Very nice. We're gonna give this another 3 minutes. You see that my olive oil is simmering and the smell is amazing. Anytime there's like garlic and onion in olive oil, I don't know, there's something so comforting. I feel like my mom and my grandma are with me whenever I'm cooking garlic and oil. Anybody else? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my tomatoes. It's like a 28-ounce can. I'm gonna mix that up. And I'm also going to add a pinch of sugar just to kind of like balance out the acidity and everything that's going on in there. Just, okay, maybe 2 pinches. Just a little bit. And I'm trying to think of other questions I've been getting from everybody out there in internet land about all this quarantine cooking that we're doing. And one of my best tips is every morning, go into your refrigerator and take a look at expiration dates, or take a look at your veggies that are, or fruits that maybe are about to go. And instead of being wasteful, let's think about what we can do with them. Can we turn them into a salsa, or can we turn our greens into a pesto? Pestos freeze really well, just FYI. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Very nice. I'm gonna add this. I'm gonna let these chill. Actually, you know what? I forgot. I was savvy. I planned ahead. I have a paper towel lined sheet here. It's gonna help some of the oil drain off. I love that color. That's what we're looking for here. And chickpeas are a great source of protein and fiber, which means it'll keep you full, it'll keep your kitties full, and kids seem to like anything that mimic chicken nuggets, at least in my experience, and that's what these do. So when Sienna took this first bite the other day and she gobbled them up, I was like, thank you. Because protein can be really hard to get into our kitties. So I'm gonna check on my sauce. I'm gonna bump up the heat a little bit. And I'm also going to season with some salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder. All right, and I see that my fritters are finishing up here. All right, I'm gonna give my sauce a couple more minutes to cook, and I'm gonna put everything together. So I've got my crispy chickpea fritters, so I'm gonna nestle them in with my spinach. Then, I'm a big sauce person, so I would love to slather this sauce, but I also want the crunchiness of the chickpea fritters, so I'm gonna chill out. And then I'm gonna put a little bit more cheese, because nobody's ever mad at a little more cheese. And then, I'm gonna add just a little bit of lemon zest over the top. So this is a complete healthy meal. I'm actually shocked and proud of myself. So I wanted to thank you guys for allowing me to cook with you today. I know that this time is definitely not an easy time, but the positive is that we're all getting into the kitchen more, and we're gonna be armed and ready with some amazing new recipes and new skills when this is all over one day and we get back to being busy, busy bees. So stay well, and thank you so much for coming to my kitchen. Well, I ended up eating all of this, which is fine, right? It's fine.